Good Tuesday evening, and thanks so much for joining us tonight on Up North Live Unscripted at 6:30. Another warm day, a little bit of sunshine, but I think the big story is not as warm as it was yesterday and not as sunny as it was, but we still saw quite a bit of melting today. So, Joe, same situation for our Wednesday?
Yeah, I think temperatures tomorrow probably about the exact same as they were today for most spots, but we're going to deal with a little bit of messy weather, not for everyone. So, okay, you pick a city up north. Go ahead.
All right, let's do Petoskey.
Dry. Pick one down south.
Like down south?
In our viewing area.
In our viewing area. Ludington?
Yeah. Probably rain and snow tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
So there you go. You figured it out. We'll show you that all kind of on Stormcast. But areas north, dry tomorrow. To the south could be a little bit messy. A little more melting coming up tomorrow. And then it kind of stays active Thursday through Friday, Maya. So we'll have more on that and when we might get a little more sunshine, too. All that a little later.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks so much, Joe. We'll check back in with you after our first commercial break. Let's start off with our top story of the night. A family's heartbreaking loss of their mother to suicide led to an unexpected bond with the truck driver who actually hit her. Up North Live's Audrey Boucher spoke with the truck driver and the grieving family as they unite to advocate for improved mental health care.
I was just driving down the road and she was there. She right in front of me. It was at 7:20 in the morning. I was just on the way to the woods.
Pat Cobb has been working in the trucking industry for over 40 years, hauling logs and wood pulp to various sawmills and to Weyerhaeuser in Grayling. But on the morning of January 17th, the unthinkable happened, and one of his biggest fears as a truck driver came true.
It's a nightmare to get through. You get the visions. I still see her right in front of my truck. Then I hit her. There's nothing you can't get that out of your head.
Cobb was driving through Vanderbilt near the Easy Mart when 51-year-old Dawn Weatherwax climbed over a snowbank and threw herself in front of his semi.
He just hit another human. And we're not trained to hurt other people.
According to Dawn's children, Aaron and Caleb, their mother had been struggling with her mental health for nearly 30 years, and they were doing everything to get her into rehab and a mental health institution. But they say she was never kept anywhere longer than 2 weeks.
I don't ever recall ever hearing a specific reason. It just never happened. And we just genuinely felt like they didn't care. We petitioned and fought and asked, and it just always, they just let her out. They didn't take it seriously, I guess.
Erin says her mother had attempted to kill herself several times throughout her life. Dawn was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, alcoholism, and depression.
One of the last times she was in the hospital for attempting, I petitioned the court that time through the hospital to have her admitted to psychiatric care, and they ended up releasing her without CMH even doing a psych evaluation. And I stressed them, it needs to be done.
Erin says her mom was working on herself and had hopes of becoming a recovery coach. But leading up to that day, her mom had started isolating herself, had sudden changes in her mood, such as aggression, and said she felt trapped. Dawn's death led Erin and Caleb to reach out to Pat and Becky.
And I feel really bad that my mom involved them. I mean, there's been all these times where she's just affected us and our family, and this time she affected a whole nother family and a community. I mean, a school bus full of kids seen this happen.
We wanted to let them know that it wasn't his fault and that we were truly sorry that they had to be implicated in this at all. And we just feel like we failed them because we could never get her the treatment that she needed, and there was no reason for Pat and them to be involved whatsoever.
In Vanderbilt, Audrey Boucher, Up North Live News.
Our next story takes us to East Lansing, where Michigan State University is in the final stages of implementing a permanent memorial to honor and remember Ariel Anderson, Brian Fraser, and Alexandria Verner. So 3 final designs were released on Monday for MSU's permanent memorial to honor the victims of the February 13th, 2023 mass shooting. And the memorial will also serve as a healing space for anyone else in the community impacted by the tragedy. Now, the two potential locations for the memorial are Sleepy Hollow between Beaumont Tower and the Music Practice Building, or the old horticulture garden located near the Student Services Building. Let's take a look at the three designs. So this is design one. It is building on an existing water feature in the old horticulture garden. This design reimagines the space to foster healing and honors a process of grieving and remembrance. 3 stones are around the pond. Those symbolize the 3 lives lost. They offer a space and to place flowers and other mementos for anyone who is grieving. And 3 gently sloping mounds are meant to embrace the memorial and give it a sense of intimacy and isolation from the surrounding campus. Let's take a look at design 2 now. So this is called Circles of Reflection. It proposes a new path and 3 distinct remembrance spaces inside of Sleepy Hollow. The 3 spaces are the Gathering Circle, a community space for ceremony and shared remembrance, the Meditative Circle, a quiet sanctuary for personal reflection, and the Social Circle, allowing visitors to engage and share any memories. Now, the space would serve as a place for continuing memory, refuge for reflection, and a connector for those seeking comfort in the community. And here is design 3. It's composed of the Camp Circle, a public gathering space to foster healing, reflecting, and community building, and memory windows, which would honor the lives of those 3 students. Now, this design uses the existing topography of the northern side of Sleepy Hollow to allow feelings of being welcomed, safe, and comfortable to reflect. The memorial would be surrounded by different trees to create a sheltered, serene setting that would hopefully try to evoke calm and serenity. And a new accessible walkway would also connect the memorial to the existing east-west walkway and seek to invoke a combination of strength and vulnerability, spirituality, earthliness, and loss and renewal. Now, work to construct the memorial is planned to start this coming spring or summer. Now, let's take a look at our question of the day related to this, which is, which memorial do you think should be built to honor the MSU mass shooting victims? Design 1, Design 2, or Design 3? Scan the QR code on your screen right now. That will take you to our website where you can vote, and we will take a look at those results a little more towards the end of the show. And we also have a web story on our website that shows more of the pictures of each design and shows different pictures and more information on that as well. Switching gears here a little closer to home, today the DNR and MDOT hosted an open house in Grand Traverse County to learn about changes coming to a popular camping spot in East Bay Township. And our Cody Bear was there at the open house, and he joins us live now for a little preview of what we can expect to hear at 11 o'clock. So, Cody, this is a story that you're working on at 11, but this is also a story that we have been kind of talking about for a while now. What were some of the updates you learned at tonight's meeting?
Yeah, so we talked a little bit about timeline and some of the improvements, and that was the big thing. You know, I could show you all the bulletin boards they had, and there were 8 to 10 of them, and it was a lot. And the point of the open house was kind of break down some of the improvements, both for the Traverse City State Park campground and an intersection at 3 Mile Road and US 31. And the biggest thing, to put it in kind of a broad perspective, and I'll, break open a lot of the improvements tonight at 11, but very broad, it's a lot about accessibility. We'll see some more sidewalks, some more crossings, things like that, and accessibility inside of the Traverse City State Park campground. One really big thing that I want to show you, one of their plans for the Traverse City State Park campground, I talked to the DNR, and a lot of it is about making it easier to get in and out and more sweeping entrances and exits. I'm actually parked right outside of the campground now. And as you can see, you have the 2 roads and the 2 lanes in front of you, and it's really just a stop sign. And the DNR said they got a lot of complaints about trying to get out because it is just that stop sign. I have to take a left to go home. I'll probably take a right and find another place to turn around, because that's the struggle a little bit. So that's the big thing, one of the big things that they want to improve. And there are a few more that I'll break down at 11, but the big thing today was just kind of showing everyone, hey, this is what's coming.
Sure. Anything else that you want to mention before we see your full story tonight at 11?
Yeah, tonight at 11, I'm going to talk a lot about timelines coming up and detours and things like that. I'm also going to talk about how the community felt. And one of the big things is with this project, the bridge that goes over US 31, this is a part of the project that will take that away. The bridge will go away. And a lot of people that I spoke to were very worried about that. And they felt a little bit better after the open house. So tonight at 11, you'll be able to hear from the DNR and MDOT about really all of the project, but a big thing about that bridge and why they're taking it away and ways that they plan to still keep that crossing in that area safe.
All right, Cody, thanks so much. I'm looking forward to seeing your story at 11 because I'm very intrigued. I know that pedestrian bridge is the easiest way for campers to get across to the beach. So I'm excited to learn what their new plan is for ways people can get to the beach. So again, Cody will have that full story for you coming up tonight at 11. But we have another Cody Bear special to share with you tonight. This is a story that Cody worked on yesterday, but we just wanted to share it with you. So with the warmer temperatures that we've been seeing this week, you might expect ice fishers to be staying off of different lakes across northern Michigan. But as Cody found out, a day or two of warmer weather may not be as bad for the activity as you may think.
They'll go out ice fishing until the bitter end.
Temperatures have been warmer, but ice fishers aren't letting that keep them off the lakes.
As long as there's safe ice underneath, which there's still 10 inches underneath the slush, so I feel safe on it.
One bait shop right between Lake Mitchell and Lake Cadillac in Wexford County says there hasn't been any dip in sales.
The ice doesn't go away right away. So, I mean, it could be 70 degrees today. It'd still be fine. It's just kind of like prolonged 40-degree weather and stuff. But a day here, a day there, ice hasn't even felt this warmth yet. It's just melting the snow on top.
In fact, Chris says a day or two of warm temperatures will do ice fishers a favor.
When you got 12, 15 inches of snow on top, when it's real cold, it just kind of sits there and insulates the ice from forming. But when you get these warmer days, all that stuff kind of compresses down. It'll end up refreezing here the next time it gets cold. So we'll end up having several inches more ice here the next cold spell.
And a longer ice fishing season is good for business.
Probably 80% of our business is all ice fishermen.
Partly due to people like Joseph and Joshua, who come to northern Michigan for the ice fishing opportunities it provides.
Totally worth the 4-hour drive up from where I live. Back at home, like I said, we don't get as much ice, and when we do, it's variable. Up here, there's probably 10 inches here, and there's probably still 6 inches out there, so it's still safe out in the middle.
They say no matter the weather, make sure you're always taking the right precautions.
Safe ice for a person is at least 4 inches. I like to carry an auger, power auger, drill a hole, take a tape measure. If it's less than 4 inches, it might be a good idea to walk back to shore.
In Wexford County, Cody Bear, UpNorthLive News.
Now, although we just heard, it is safe to go out onto most lakes as long as there's at least 4 inches of ice. The U.S. Coast Guard does have some tips to share with you if you do want to go out on the ice during these kind of warmer days. So the U.S. Coast Guard is telling everyone to make sure you bring a life jacket. They specifically say a Coast Guard approved life jacket with you out on the ice. Always dress for the water temperature, not the air temperature, and dress in bright colors. So in case of an emergency, you would be easier to find. And never go out on the water alone, and always use a buddy system. Okay, so how much longer will these warmer temperatures be sticking around? And Joe mentioned some snow and possibly rain in the forecast coming up. He'll break all of that down for you in just a few minutes.
I'm Jada Johnson from Big Boys TV, and the Fish and Game Report is sponsored by Johnson's Propane.
Another warmer day across northern Michigan, and for the most part, pretty quiet out there, but things could start to change here pretty soon. Joe, you mentioned that we have a bit of a snow rain system heading our way.
Yeah, a couple actually. One tomorrow affecting the southern part of our area. Then another one comes in Thursday.
Okay.
And then Friday, more snow, maybe some rain mixing in spots. And then the weekend looks pretty nice.
Oh, okay.
But colder.
Yeah.
So it's like you'll get the 30s, but messy weather, and then the sun will come out, but it'll be in the teens and 20s. So kind of pick your poison.
What a week.
Let's take a look over Houghton Lake. It's still, we're almost to 7 o'clock. It is still daylight out. I mean, the sun has set. It's 38 degrees with a northwest wind. We've had some sunshine down this way and a little bit of clearing still hanging on here. It was another day of melting. It was relatively mild, not as warm as yesterday, though. These were the high temperatures today. Drummond Island got to 40. Sheboygan reached 41. Everybody was above freezing. The warm spot was at Mount Pleasant, where we had a temperature of 52 degrees earlier today. We've melted some of the snowfall. Now, there's still a lot out there. This is the snow on the ground, the snowpack. And again, the eastern UP, lots of snow. Same thing over a good portion of northern, especially northern and northwest lower Michigan, north central lower Michigan. But notice as you get south of, Clare, Mount Pleasant, down toward Lansing, Detroit, there's no snow on the ground, really. Same thing across the lake in central Wisconsin. We've lost a lot of snow in those areas. We have just so much here. It's taking a while. And again, we're going to see our temperatures gradually dropping, so we'll kind of stop the snow melt Friday into the weekend. Here's a look at things around the region. Some clouds north. Our southern area is still relatively clear. We did have a couple rain and snow showers earlier today. Those are done with. Meanwhile, out west, a little rain. You see that in the Dakotas, now heading into Minnesota. That's the system that's going to kind of drop in for tomorrow. And I just want to show you, I want to expand the view here up into Canada, much of the U.S. You can see where Traverse City is, northern Michigan right there. We have a number of systems coming in. There's the one tomorrow. Another one drops in Thursday right there. And then here's another one Friday. You see that coming out of Canada. So kind of this parade of systems right there. And before a little bit of cooler weather comes in to end the weekend into early next week. In the short term, here's what we're expecting back home. Increasing clouds. There could be some fog tonight. We'll keep an eye on that. And then tomorrow morning, this is where we expect some of that rain and snow. So, you draw a line, Traverse City to Alpena, south of there, right in through here tomorrow. So Cadillac, West Branch, Reed City, Big Rapids, Ludington, that's where you're liable to see some of this rain-snow mix during the day tomorrow. And then here comes the next system on Thursday right there. And you see that, a rain-snow mix during the day Thursday. I don't expect a whole lot of accumulation. In fact, I will run this out. We'll take a look at forecast snow through Thursday. Not a lot, because we're going to be near freezing. So a lot of this will melt. We might squeeze out some slush in a few spots in some areas. So let's take a look at our forecast. As far as tonight's concerned, we're looking at 20s, increasing clouds, some fog possible. Tomorrow, mid-30s to mid-40s, rain, snow, sleet mix. But again, that'll be south of a Traverse City Alpena line. Dry for areas north of there. And here is our extended forecast. And 30s through Thursday. Now we start dropping off in temperature later Friday. Could be messy Friday too with some snow or a rain-snow mix. And then colder weather for the weekend. But it looks dry and pretty quiet. And I think later Saturday into Sunday, maybe some sunshine too, Maya.
A little bit of everything.
It really is. Yeah,
really describes this time of year in northern Michigan.
It absolutely does.
All right, thanks so much, Joe. Let's take a quick commercial break, but we will bring in sports director Harrison Beebe in just a couple of minutes. Stay with us. A busy night for high school girls hoops across northern Michigan. And for a look on that, let's turn things over to sports director Harrison Beebe.
Maya, in a week where boys basketball districts tipped off and we start that postseason journey, it's the girls basketball games tonight that are arguably stealing some of the headlines. In fact, they're stealing my attention for sure. It is an off night for the boys, but two huge girls games going on in Leelanau County. We have combined 61 wins and just 15 total losses between four teams that are facing off tonight. St. Ignace is the top-ranked team in Division 4. The Lady Saints on the road, a long trip down to play Lake Leelanau St. Mary, but that's a good non-conference opponent for the Saints. The Eagles also going to get a good, valuable playoff primer going up against St. Ignace as well. And then in the Northwest Conference, it's Frankfort and Leland meeting up. Frankfort has a one-game lead for the conference title that they can win outright tonight, but if Leland, who's hosting the game, can get the W in their building, that means it's a tie Northwest Conference. As far as college hoops goes, we are inching closer to March, just a few days away. One of my favorite, if not my favorite, months of the year. Let's take a look at the latest AP Top 25 polls for men's college basketball. We know Auburn leads the way. Duke right behind them with Cooper Flagg, the big prospect for the NBA draft this June. A lot of people like the Dukies this year as well. They are followed in the polls by Florida, Houston, and Tennessee. So three SEC teams holding down in the top five. The SEC has looked like a phenomenal conference this year. But the Big Ten starting to show its value, at least one Big Ten team in particular, Michigan State, coming off the best week maybe in MSU's recent memory, getting wins at Illinois, at home with Purdue, and then at Michigan. They're number 8 in the nation. A lot of bracketologists projecting them to be a 2 seed for the March Madness NCAA tournament. If that tournament started today, obviously 4 more games to go in this conference slate. That'll be tomorrow night for MSU. They go on the road to face 16th ranked Maryland. Michigan getting a close win over Nebraska last night to get back in the win column in the Big Ten. Next up for the Wolverines, a home game with Rutgers on Thursday. That'll do it for Unscripted Sports. Back to you, Maya.
Thank you, Harrison. And Harrison will have highlights from all those girls basketball games tonight on Up North Live News at 11. But for right now, let's take a quick break, but don't go anywhere just yet. We're not done yet. We have the live results for our question of the day straight ahead.
Salon services are furnished by Epiphany Advanced Academy in East Acme.
It has been a little over 2 years since the tragic mass shooting at Michigan State University took the lives of 3 students, and MSU wants to remember and honor those students by building a memorial. Right now, they have 3 different designs. So our question of the day is, which design do you think should be built to honor the MSU mass shooting victims? We showed all those pictures at the beginning of our show, but you can head to our website, UpNorthLive.com, to see the designs. And MSU is asking for community input as well with a survey. We have a link to that survey on our website, UpNorthLive.com. And work to construct the memorial is planned to start this coming spring or summer. But that'll do it for Up North Live Unscripted tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. We hope to see you back here at 11.